Welcome to the Sprinkles of Spirit podcast with Lisayogaangel. I'm Lisa, and I am your host. I believe the key to living an inspired life is through living a well-balanced life in our mind, body, and spirit. Join me every Thursday for a journey of self-discovery and transformation as I share with you powerful practices and tools that will empower you to experience personal growth and embody self-love, confidence, and faith. I am so grateful to be here as your guide to living your best life now and remind you that you are exactly where you are supposed to be and you are loved beyond measure. Namaste. Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for tuning in with me this week. So right away, let's breathe. So for those of you who are new, I love to start out by taking one cycle of breath to bring you into the here and now and fully receive this week's message. So, all right, let's go ahead and close our eyes and take a deep inhale through your nose. And let the exhale out of the mouth, nice and soft as you relax your jaw. Soften the brows. Allow yourself a moment of stillness. Allow your next breath to come in through the nose. And then slowly open the eyes. All right. Thank you. Powerful breath. Okay. So I believe by the time this airs, it's a few days after Halloween, and you may have noticed on your calendar on your phone, it says the Day of the Dead. And I know we just had Halloween, or also known as All Hallows Eve. So November 1st and November 2nd kind of coincide with a Christian holiday called All Saints Day. And this is where, the tradition of Halloween comes from. And I just wanted to talk about that, right? And does that freak you out, the Day of the Dead, or celebrating our loved ones who are in heaven or, who've crossed over? And this year on this podcast, talking about living our well-balanced life in our mind, in our body, in our spirit, with the foundation of knowing and trusting that this isn't the end, right? That our physical body is our shell. It's the house of our soul, and we are infinite, we have no end, we simply transform back into the light, which is in which where we were all created, part of the stardust out there in this big universe. And so I want to talk about it because Halloween is such a cool holiday and so many people love it, right? We love to dress up. We love to become and transform into something other than who we show the world ourselves to be. It's fun to be something, our alter ego maybe, or, something you've always dreamed of being, or something spooky to spook people, or, but, getting into the source of that holiday is All Saints Day, and it celebrates all of the saints, known and unknown, and then the Day of the Dead, celebrating our loved ones who are deceased, who are no longer with us in physical form. Actually, the Day of the Dead is a Mexican holiday, but both holidays are rooted in the belief that life does continue after death. It's not the end. And many people believe that we can still talk to, we can still communicate with our loved ones who are in heaven. And I am one of them, 100%. I definitely am open to that. It's so funny. I love watching and learning about people who have the gift of clairaudience, clairvoyance, actually, and I'll do a whole episode on the clairsenses. But people in particular who are mediums, they do mediumship, they can receive messages and kind of communicate with the spiritual realm, with our deceased loved ones. And I'm totally open to that. Did you guys ever watch that show? In particular, it just popped into my mind, the Hollywood medium. Oh gosh, his name is totally skipping my brain right now. Anyway, it was such a cool show. And anytime those shows are on, I'm like captivated. I've always been fascinated with the spiritual realm with Tyler Henry. Thank you. Tyler Henry, Hollywood Medium with Tyler Henry. He has some really cool episodes if you've never seen it. But he receives messages, from our ancestors, from people's loved ones who are no longer with us. And I totally believe it. I believe in energy. I believe we do transform back into spirit, back to the light, back to the love. And I really even believe that our relationship with our loved ones transforms and becomes actually even deeper than it was here on earth when we were in physical form. I feel closer to loved ones who've crossed over now, with loved ones who are in heaven. I feel closer to them now. And are you open to this, or does it freak you out? It's something to be aware of. And I do believe that our loved ones, can give us signs, and that we can talk to them, and you can, just like we're having a conversation, just like you're talking to your friend, we can talk to them. And you already know, if you've been, listening to the podcast this year with me, you already know I'm a total, I believe in signs kind of girl, 100% believe in signs, and you will know when it is your loved ones. And I call these moments that we have with our loved ones close moments, close moments that you can have with your loved ones or your angels or God. Again, this label doesn't matter. It's your higher power who you connect with. And it's nothing to be afraid of. And it's actually a really beautiful lens through which to view life. There's kind of comfort knowing that it's just a transformation. Of course, a loss of a loved one is devastating. I will not deny that. Heartbreaking. Because we miss them. We miss their physical touch, their voice, their hugs, their energy here. But I do believe you can still feel their energy actually even more now, when you call upon them. And I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to give you, if this is totally new, totally like a little weird, I'm going to just give you a few very, very simple tips, because there is no one right way to open up the communication line with your loved ones who are in heaven. There is a way that's going to resonate with you, but it's actually a lot more simple than you think. And real quickly, before I get to the tips of how you can do this, I find that, have you found that loved ones who are in heaven, you'll have these close moments, and you would think it happens on a particular day, such as maybe their birthday or such as a specific holiday, or maybe even the day they crossed over. I kind of find that it's random. I have these close moments out of nowhere. But I will tell you, as we've just passed the holiday of Halloween, I think I said in the prior episode the other week, October specifically is known to have a very thin veil, meaning, the veil between our worlds, physical, spiritual realm, is very thin. And we have this opportunity, this window of time. And I want to tell you, this week in particular, notice, have you had any signs from your loved ones, who are in heaven now? Have you felt them? Was there something that made you think of them? These are not, I don't believe these are coincidences. I totally believe it is communication. They will find a way to reach you, and it's a way only you will recognize. And it's very personal. And, some people are more open than others. Obviously, if you're here listening with me this year, I know you're open to it. I already know you're a sensitive soul. You are open to learning more about our spirituality. I know you're here with me on this path. And, I was talking to it, with my coworkers at work, and they have all had such beautiful, powerful stories of how their loved ones have given them signs. And we're all sitting there, with goosebumps. And I'll share with you the last close moment that I had with my dad. This is really powerful. He tends to come through with me on my phone, and that's a little crazy, but I still have his phone number in my phone. And like out of nowhere, I will pick up my phone and it's calling Dad. And I have goosebumps because I know 100% it is him coming through, and in particular, there was a moment last year, at the end of the year, I was, long story short, climbing a mountain for 7 hours. True story, out in California. And it was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. One of the best things I've ever done in my life, but scariest, And it was like a 7.5 hour hike. And by the time I was down off this mountain in California, it was dark, and you couldn't see, and I was completely exhausted. But there was a moment, up on the mountain that I felt like there was someone behind me, when you can kind of sense it. And I was going to, turn around to kind of like get out of their way. And when I turned around, there was no one there. And I kind of was like, oh, I felt the presence. Well, when I got off the mountain, and I'm really shortening this story, when I finally walked back to the car, and I could finally sit down, I was exhausted. My legs hurt, my feet hurt. I was, dehydrated. I pick up my phone, and of course it's Dad calling, and and I was just like, oh my God. It was such a beautiful, close moment. And I just knew, he's my guardian angel up there on that mountain, 100,000%. And there's many other stories, that happen like that. But, take note of them and don't be afraid of it or freaked out. But it's beautiful. It's awesome. And it's kind of reassuring and comforting that knowing you can totally talk to them about anything, and you can totally ask them anything, So grab your journal, and I'm going to tell you here's a few tips on how you can communicate, with our angels in heaven, as I call them. So the first thing I want to say is you can do this intentionally. Set aside some time every day to open up this line of connection. And it can be first thing in the morning or right before bed, maybe when you're getting into bed, before you fall asleep, whatever time of day that works for you, but make it a quiet time, a place where you can really relax and focus. So that's the first key. Really pick a time of day for you to open up this line of communication. And then the second step is close your eyes. I find that closing your eyes and connecting to a few deep breaths. You also can set up your space, meaning having a picture of them before you, but it's not necessary. You can simply close your eyes and visualize that your loved one is right there with you. They're sitting right in front of you. And I often like to visualize, holding their hands, holding their hands. And it feels very comforting. And breathe and just feel yourself enveloped in their energy. See them smile. Remember them the happiest they were ever. And then the next step is you can talk to them. You can tell them about your day. You can ask them for advice. You can tell them simply that you love and miss them. And you will feel this connection. It is real. It is not woo-woo. It is not out there. It is real, a real connection. And you will know it. And then lastly is have your journal by you when you're doing this. And by the way, I want to also say you can hold an object, maybe possibly of theirs that they had, would be beautiful too. Hold one of their objects. But then be open to receiving the messages. So it's like, don't rush this time. Really allow it to unfold. You may, a specific image may come into your mind, certain words. What are you feeling? What are you smelling? Physical sensations can arrive, like a certain scent. Are you cold? Are you warm? Really trust what you're receiving. Trust your intuition and pay attention to the signs and the messages that are coming your way when you're in this space. And lastly, just remember, again, there's no right and wrong. And you can do this anywhere. It doesn't have to be, at home. You can be on your walk. You can be walking on the beach. You can be driving to work or driving home from work. It's your time, and you can communicate with your loved ones who have crossed over, who have transformed back to the light, back to our source where we originally were created, from the energy of love, in an open and a very sincere way. And when you're coming from this very true place of love, your loved one will hear you. And they're right there with you. And this is a beautiful time of year. And I really feel it. I can even sense it in the air. Our conversations at work, what my friend shared with me, it was just, we all sat there with goosebumps, exchanging stories of signs, from your loved ones. And I have the goosebumps right now as I'm talking, because I have complete faith in this communication line. It is open. And we open that door, we pick up the phone, you open up the email by simply dropping in and breathing and saying, hey, I'm here. Yeah. So I wanted to share that, as we rounded out October and, we all celebrated Halloween, and really get back to, the source of the holiday. So, yeah. Okay, so let's get to your angel message this week. And the card I picked this week says, to have a friend, be a friend. And your affirmation is, I make time for friendships and show up for my loved ones as I welcome people into my life who will show up for me. That's an awesome one. To have a friend, be a friend. I make time for friendships. So this is, your angels are saying, remember to have a friend, be a friend. So are you open to friendships, to being there for others as, we welcome people into our life who will show up for us? So pay attention, make sure you're allowing people who are supportive, who are loving, who are kind, who are truthful. But at the same time, we have to ask ourselves, have I done the same? I'm seeing like two arrows go in opposite directions. Like it's a give and take, right? Again, balance. There's the yin and yang. Everything is a balance. It's an exchange. And just like I spoke about the communication with our loved ones who've crossed over, it's an exchange, and we give and we receive. One flows with the other. It doesn't work, it can't be all one way, and it's not all one way, Any relationship, a friendship, partnership, coworker, professional, personal, if it's just one way, I'm sure we've all experienced, it does not last. So this is your angel saying, hey, who can you be a friend to, and keep it simple, keep it simple. Pick up the phone, send an email, or simply check in with yourself and develop the conscious awareness of your heart space and know, do I walk around the world closed off, or am I anchored in my heart, trusting that I am a good person and that I know good people will arrive in my life. And then when they do, am I open? Am I closed? It's an energy thing. So, but yeah, your angels are telling you, time to open up, to have a friend, be a friend. So as you show up for others, they show up for you. So check in with the relationships, maybe that's going on right now. And that's beautiful. So thank you always for tuning in with me every Thursday on my podcast journey. I'm so excited. I can't believe we're nearing the end of the year. Lots of fun stuff coming up for 2024. So stay tuned. Lots of, some announcements I'll give you. But be sure to follow me on Instagram for daily inspiration. Lots of fun stuff there I share. And YouTube, Sprinkles of Spirit on YouTube. I've got lots of yoga, meditation, some fun videos, self-love, mind, body, spirit videos, all things there. And for more, be sure to visit Lisayogaangel.com. And until next time, I'll meet you right back here. Have a beautiful week. Namaste.